Tungwarara is a strategic infiltrator causing systematic decay to ED and Zanu PF, Acie Lumumba has said. So, as always, we've seen Vanatemba. You remember I was telling you Vanatemba is working with Jonathan, is working with Acie Lumumba in support of Kubakwake. Right now, we are seeing Acie coming out, all guns blazing on Tungwarara and calling Tungwarara an infiltrator. Man's infiltrator Tungwarara. Muna akangonyuka from nowhere, akangoya akati pfe, and ati pfe kudaro ari kuuya kuzodestroya the system from inside. So I mean, it's quite very interesting what Acie is talking about. My allegations are trikunzwaya akaoma, but generally looking at the warring sides, it seems like the Tagure side, it's already weakened. It's already like going extinct, more quiet than expected. I don't know, maybe Temba I don't know, but it seems like that move which Tagure made, Kuti, disowning all social media platforms or people or whatever that are pushing my agenda, whatever it is. I think that became a blow to the whole thing. Of course, not knowing kuti behind the scenes vanenge vamira here negroup rake nefaction yake kuramba vachironga zvavanga vachironga. Saka hapana anonyatsozoziva kuti has he just gone into his shell akabva ango withdraw totally from what has to be happening. So it's interesting, really, kuti a lot of friction that we are seeing in the system, some outcomes were very, very shocking. But it would be naive for whoever was pushing down Ningi Kubakwake kuti vafungidzire kuti achangoita take it lying down. So that would be a very naive kind of thinking. Because the man is likely going to, continue with his direction of things. Nevanga vachimubeka up now. They can't just give up just like that. From behind the scenes. But of course, not knowing how much strategies that they would employ to end up taking the power. So Tungwarara remains now like more of a centerpiece, still very active and still throwing stones. But a lot of other people also from the system, from ZANU-PF, including Varakashivam, they are now turning against him and beginning to accuse him of many, many things. Right. So we saw that lady, Wandanji Taura Uya, who also lambasted Tungwarara, and only later on to date, Asomona, aenda kuchurch kwakatsuro kanyuan. Kuti kwanza I've visited my father and so on. So this is what it is. But this lady said to have been working with the Tungwarara. And I worked with you because I was pushing the agenda of the party. It has nothing to do with you or whatever. Or maybe let me just try and bring it on here. Maybe Gandhi's report here so that Mungo Mega article D. She has actually said a lot of things here. Right. This is the lady. That was another one. And so on and so forth. Then, like I said in the other show, I didn't really know who the woman is. And Apiam Msavengana. And Apiam Msavengana is publicly criticized Comrade Tungwarara, stressing that his role is limited to advising on investments and not political disputes. In a strong worded statement, she distanced herself from his public outbursts, reaffirmed loyalty to Zimbabwe's leadership, and warned against insulting spiritual leaders or creating divisions. Msavengana emphasized that she holds no political office, urged adherence to party regalia at ZANU-PF events, and reminded Tungwarara of resolution number 1, affirming Mnangagwa's leadership through 2030. So this is the woman. ndiye mai vacho vatiri kutaura nezvavavo watiri kuti tazoona kumberi uko achimira napapa vake manje apo. She's the same one again. Anga kuti kwanzi I had honor of attending Spirit Embassy Good News Church Sunday service and paid courteous visit to His Excellency blah 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 my father prophet. Ndio vana papariasa vapindawo mupolitics imomo vari kungovamo vachingokanyawo dhaka vari mukati vachingoitawo zvavanoitawo ikoko. Saka kunhu kwavari kudhonzerwa nanapapa vavoko kwakaoma unless kana mungu wagara ariko hake ikoko, but kana anga asiko kunhu kwavari kudhonzerwa nanapapa kumwe kunenge kusina kumira mushe. Kuno kukandai muna taisi bhuya kuno kukandai muna taisi reva. Saka there are things that AC has actually mentioned which I think we may want to look into. So courtesy of Acie Lumumba studio, and this, I don't know what's the name of his studio, whether it's the People's Champion, I think, or Acie Lumumba, I'm not sure. We want to acknowledge this, the usage of his video. Acie Lumumba, right. So let's hear what he had to say.
Tungwarara is a political retard. Something is obviously very wrong with him. He has some sort of psychological injury or death wish, one of the two.
Imagine, Hanzizo, he has got, a psychological death wish. Or Hanza has got a psychological problem or a death wish. And one of the two, a death wish. Ipapo pamunongoona mega kuti party haina kumira zvakanaka. Ukaona party yekuti kana matadza kuwirirana kana kuti matanga kunetsana makuita zvekutothreatenana wakutotanga kutoudzwa kuti unofa, ungabona kune party kumbe organization eti abantu nxa bengasazwanani endabeni enye, then sokupuma manje ama-threats okuthi uyafa and so on. That's a wrong organization altogether. An organization should be professional and not a danger to the lives of its members.
I think everyone is missing is just how dangerous his stupidity can get. Tungwarara is the definition of political infiltration. The most dangerous man in Zimbabwean politics right now. More dangerous than anybody in the opposition. Is more dangerous than anybody in exile who is plotting in Johannesburg, in London, or in Washington. Tungwarara is right here in Arab, wearing Zanu PF regalia, showing and proving precisely why the rules of escalation in Zanu PF were the way they were. Tungwarara is systematically destroying the president's ecosystem in the president's name. What I want to do is show you the sophisticated infiltration pattern that is operating in Zimbabwe today. This is not crude sabotage or open rebellion as we're used to seeing it. It's something far more dangerous. Someone who has positioned themselves as a presidential advisor while attacking the president's wife, attacking the president's permanent secretary of finance,
Right, can you hear here? Which we were not aware of. Because unless if it is just propaganda. Acie is saying that, number one, is Tungwarara, he self-positioned himself, right? So that's a thing that we really need to find out. Tungwarara, presidential advisor, and then Acie is claiming that Tungwarara also is attacking the first lady. I think my pants were up. We have not heard that. We thought that this guy is a Trojan horse. But we don't know what that means.
As a presidential advisor while attacking the president's wife.
Who's attacking the president's
attacking
wife?
The president's permanent secretary of finance, the president's ambassador at large, the president's spiritual advisor, the president's land.
And the president's spiritual advisor. Kurevani, Kurevakatsuru. President spiritual advisor,
program chairperson, the president's party commissariat, everyone the president appoints or trusts, all of them become targets, all of them become undermined, all of them in the name of loyalty. Yeah, this is the final form of infiltration. Tungwarara is giving us a class act of how to sabotage your own party unnecessarily. Do you guys remember Energy Mutori? The guy who would attack the institution from the inside. That was amateur, of course, because he was loud, he was obvious, and he got fired. What Tungwarara is doing is very different. You see, Mutori wore the agenda on his sleeve. Tungwarara wraps the agenda in a flag, the president's flag, and he comes out as the president's advisor, President's Empowerment Fund. I am doing this for the president. The uniform is loyalty. The weapon is chaos.
Right. Can you see here? So he's arikuti Tungwarara arikuuya akazviputira neflag yapresident, right? Asi achidestroy the ecosystem of the president. Arikuuya in the name of loyalty. As at the same time, destroy everyone who is around the president. And so he's doing, when he claims whatever he's doing, I would justify Arguti is doing it in the name of the president. So in other words, Arguti Tungwarara is destroying a president in the name of the president. Right.
This is what makes Tungwarara a genius in his stupidity.
A genius in his stupidity. It makes him a genius in his stupidity.
The attacks are never directed outward. The attacks are never at the opposition. The attacks are never at hostile media. The attacks are never at sanctions architects. They're always inward at the people that the president himself put in place. I want you to think about that. If I told you that someone was attacking the first lady, the president's treasurer, the president's ambassador at large, the party commissariat, and the president's personal pastor, you would say that that is an enemy of the state, no? But what if that person also shouts EDP loud enough, in fact, louder than everybody else?
Right, so you get it. As he's saying, okay, look at Tungwarara's strategy. The strategy of Tungwarara is destroying everyone that has been appointed or has been working around Rukachwend. But as he does that, he'll be shouting at his loudest, kuti wamunanga, but at the same time destroying everyone who has been appointed, who has been working, and who has been standing with Rukachwende watch. Saka to us, this is a Tungwarara strategy.
That's infiltration at the highest level. I want to explain how Tungwarara picks his targets. If you look at who he attacks, Tungwarara does not attack failures. He does not attack incompetence. The people who are actually delivering are his target. He attacks George Guvamatanga. Under George's tenure as permanent secretary, foreign currency reserves went from 200 million to 1 billion. Gold.
Spare us your propaganda. Nema dzamuri kutitaura vanhu vari kuba mari vana George Guvamatanga vari kuzvibhadhara ma 200,000 per 10% ari kubhadharwa for every tender iri kubuda. Esoda kutitaura kuti you can't tell us of an economy under George Guvamatanga yakabva ku 200,000 to 200 million to 1 billion in revenue. Where is the revenue? Why is it not culminating into success? Why is it not seeping into the economy, into the lives of the people? You guys, you cannot just continue muchingotitaurira kuti kwanzi 1 billion economy, 1 billion gross domestic product, and yet the people of Zimbabwe are poorer and poorer and poorer. Zvinoshanda chirudzi izvozvo. Zvinoshanda izvozvo. Esi uri munhu ari intelligent. Mari yamuri kutaura, yauri kutaura iyoyo inongova mafigure anotaura nevakoma vako avo. Sei isiri kuoneka kuti iri kuchinja economy. We cannot just be a minister of finance akaita samtuli. Mtuli anongoti uya achingowawata mafigure. But on the ground, hapana, there's nothing to show for it. Saka hazvibatsiri vakomana kuti muswere muchitaura zvinhu zvamusina kuswera.
Increased, we now have a structured currency framework of the ZIG, which is work in progress, but these are not
work in progress. Ukamunzwa achiti work in progress ari kuzama kutiza the failure yeZig iyoyo. That ZIG is a failed currency, and imimi vacho hamudi kuishandisa. Mese makadaro kubva kuna Etra Bablas wacho hamudi kuisa ZIG, hamuisi ZIG muhomwe. Saka muri kurigadzirirani. Muri kurigadzirirani ZIG racho kuti mutore mari yemuHarare chete, because ZIG harisi kushanda kunana Masvingo, harisi kushanda kunana kwese kunana Zvishavane, kwese kupi kunana Bedbridge. Harishandi ZIG, rinongoshanda muHarare chete so far. Nokuti muri kuridira mumastreets emuHarare ndo mamuri kumekera mari neZIG renyu. Tozviziva, saka hamutibati kumeso wakoma.
Random outcomes. These are stated presidential priorities. This is what the president asked for. And this is what Tungwarara attacks. Why? Because functional institutions expose infiltrators. Chaos is an infiltrator's oxygen. Order suffocates an infiltrator.
Hapana order pa. It's just disorder. Tungara aritongo ataka zvinhu zvitori disorder kudhara esi. What order can you really tell me kuti iri kuexista muZanu PF with all these wars that we have seen, factional wars esi atikuona vana comrade Geza, vana vice president Chiwenga, zvese zviri kuitika kwese ukoko kumuzvigananda macho and so on? Will you call that order? Even if we remove Tungwarara, before the ascendance of Tungwarara to where he is today, would you call what was happening order? No. Yes, that's pure propaganda.
So he needs to create chaos in order for him to survive. An infiltrator needs to be needed. Delivery must always be called theft. And the people who are building the president's legacy must always be destroyed in the president's name. Tungara is putting together a shadow state. And this is where I think it gets very dangerous. Paul Tungwarara holds no elected office. He holds no statutory authority. But if you watch him operate, he announces investigations, he makes judgments. Public officials are summoned, not to parliament and not to court, to the court of Paul Tungwarara.
Yes, there I do agree with you. Paul Tungwarara holds no elected office, no government office, no party office. But yet the way that he's speaking with that authority, I think he has overstepped to some extent. Yes, there I do agree with you, Acie, 100%. Paul Tungwarara should not have all that power. Where is he deriving that power from? You see, because if it is one person who brought Tungwarara, because when the rest of the people are asking of his whereabouts, then if it is one person who brought him by the back door, that one person is the person who should put a leash, right, on Tungwarara and tell him to calm down. But it seems like that very person, Washona, is not doing anything. He's just watching things deteriorate.
He runs a presidential empowerment fund, which is language that is designed to sound official. He has presidential proximity. This is parallel authority. Tungwarara has rallies, donations, spectacles, not in the service of the state, but in the service of personal political ascent. And he's not pretending to be random. Central committee, then he wants to go to the Politburo. In Zanu PF, the order is well known. And the loudest shouters of loyalty in politics are often the people with the strongest appetite for succession. That's it. I said what I said. Let me break down what the weapon is. Every accusation follows the same template. If you listen to Tungwarara, he never talks about incompetence. He never talks about policy disagreement. It's always corruption. Why? Because corruption accusations don't require proof to destroy credibility. They can't be conclusively disproved. They trigger automatic public distrust. And when evidence is requested, you can be vague. You can say investigations are ongoing. There's no documents, no figures, no timelines.
No. On that one, I think you are simply trying to defend Kuda. Toziziva. Kondo side rako Acie, Kuda has been corrupt. Haizvozvo zvikamwa imbavha Kuda. Chero ari kukupa mari ndikuona kadumbu kari kubudira mazuva ano kadumbu ako Acie. But mari muri kupuhwa machinda, muri kutsenga mari. Iwewe nanatemba muri kurova machibhegi chemari. Saka, well, we know. But when it comes to defend kuba kwake over the issues of corruption, corruption anayo. In fact, hapana ari clean. Saka hapana mtsvene, every one of you guys anotori akatosviba kudhara. Saka nyaya yekuti hapana evidence, hapana chi evidence dziripo. So only kungoti those that are in power ndo vakadzigarira evidence acho. Nana malava ndo vakamwe vakagarira ma-evidence achona. And iwewe Acie unozviziva iwe pretty well kuti aiwa mari chibhanzi chiri kurohwa unozviziva. Iwe wakazvitaura wani kuti ndinodzoka kuZanu PF because ndichidzokera kuziva kuti ndo kune chibhanzi. Saka kana uchida kuita mari unotsvaga kwairi. Ani ndo zvawakataura Acie. Saka tinokuziva iwe.
Accusation is the payload. The objective is not accountability. The objective is permanent suspicion. Once the mud sticks, the truth is very irrelevant in politics. You must apply the dominance test to really figure this guy out. Notice who he targets. It's never his equals, never subordinates, only people who are higher in authority than he is. Each attack is a probe. Will you respond? Will you push back? Will the institutions defend themselves? Tungwarara is performing a dominance test. Zimbabwe has seen this pattern before. Grace Mugabe did it with structural power. Energy Mutori tried it with the government platform. Maliswa tried it with the parliamentary immunity. Paul Tungwarara has nothing, no office, no mandate, yet unrestricted aggression when individuals without authority can attack everybody and anybody with authority and they face no consequences.
No. You cannot tell us Sikuti he is attacking almost literally everybody, and there are no consequences coming. Who is supposed to put a leash on Tungwarara? You can't pretend to ask it. You don't know the master who is behind Tungwarara. Why are you talking about Tungwarara and not talking about his master? Tungwarara chinongori chidhoma ichi. Chidhoma china mai vacho. Mai vechidhoma havazive here Acie. You know pretty well kuti mai vechidhoma ndivani. Just like iwewe naMliswa munongoriwo zvidhoma futi. The master wenyu tinomuziva ariko ndikuda. Saka isusu tiri kuti don't just center your argument on Tungwarara. Uchibvunza kuti why is Tungwarara not facing consequences for attacking people that are in high profile places? Why not address the person who is supposed to act on Tungwarara? Ndiani anofanirwa kuact pana Tungwarara? Unomuziva iwe ndiruka Chivenda. Iye ruka akanyararirei achiona zvinhu zvichibanzuka zvinhu zvichida, and that is his attitude. I mean, it's his character. Every time things disintegrate, vanomboita kunge vasipo varume ivava. Kunge hapo mozoda kuuya manje mane hasha makuda kuzobvanzura bvarura vanhu maflesh, and yet munenge muchimborine maopportunities ese ekugadzira zvinhu before things get out of hand. Tungwarara dei atoonekwa kunzi ari wrong direction. Whoever is his master akabata the leash ndiye anofanirwa kudhonza tambo iyoyo kubati kusungirira imbwa yake. Saka udza muridzi wembwa iyi kuti ngaasungirire imbwa yake, instead of just going on social media complainer and so on. Hazvina zvazviri kubatsira at the end of the day, because it seems like the guy is unstoppable.
The institution itself is already compromised. Here's how you identify an infiltrator. Ask one question. After every intervention, who gains power? So after Paul Tungwarara attacks George, who gains? Not the president, not treasury, not the people. Paul Tungwarara gains. After he drags the first lady into public conflict, who gains?
So are you really serious, Sikuti Tungwarara? Because in answer number, Tungwarara attack first lady. I don't know. Do you have a video or a place where you could say Tungwarara attacked Aku? I don't remember seeing even a single video, not even one. So Acie continues to insist kuti Aku ari kutukwa. I think probably adult nyaya yake ite carry water. He's trying to add weight to his story. But otherwise, you cannot say kuti when he attacks people, he's the one who is becoming more powerful. Nobody is gaining from the attacks. It's actually him who is gaining. So are you telling me kuti this guy is now more powerful than Mnangagwa Washe? Why is Mnangagwa not saying anything or taking action?
Not the charitable programs, not Zanu PF, Parara. After he destabilizes the party commissariat, who gains? Not the party structures, not the grassroots, not the election machinery, Tungwarara. Everyone else becomes weaker and he consolidates. And that's not a coincidence. That is the plan and the strategy. If he was a genuine ally, he would build up the principle. A genuine ally reduces confusion. A genuine ally strengthens the team. An infiltrator tears down everybody except himself and then presents himself as the last man standing. Look at the chaos. Only I can fix it because you created it, you idiot. I want you to take a step back and look at the board. Technocrats are weakened. Diplomats are undermined. Spiritual advisors get attacked. The first lady gets dragged into conflict. The party structures get destabilized. Who is left standing? Only the man creating the noise. That's not political reform. That's systematic erosion. That's kind of what plans do. The president is always going to be left in a manufactured lose-lose from this point onwards, because if he tries to defend, he's going to come out defensive. If he stays silent, he's going to look complicit.
Yes, he is complicit, obviously. He is complicit because to some extent he must take responsibility. Somebody must be above Tungwarara. Tungwarara is not just going out there and attacking people without some instructions that are coming from some quarters, some corner, or some boss. That's the person you must be addressing right now. But you guys, you are hypocrites. Murikuchika ku address the right person. Wamunofanirwa kuudza kuti sungirira imba yako ende ndo chokwadi icho chicho. Saka kana wakutaura zvokuti ZANU-PF is going through systematic rot, ZANU-PF is the system has been compromised and all the like. Okay, why is it that the bosses of Tungwarara seem like they are not seeing kuti zvinhu zviri kuenda out of hand? Why are they not there talking or putting a restraint to this man? You cannot have the whole system as ZANU-PF destroy nomunhu one anonzi Tungwarara, somebody who just mushroomed yesterday from the devil knows where, and then montaurira esi kuti mese makaungana sevanhu veZANU-PF muri kudrostrowa nomunhu one, and munhu iye haana relevance, haana power, haana political office, haana public elected office, haana boss. He's a boss of himself. Who appointed him there? Who gave him the power? Right? Who is fueling this war yatangwa na Tungwarara? Saka, you addressing Tungwarara as you are just doing like what everyone else is doing. You guys, you are not able to face the real guy who should be responsible for putting a leash on this guy. Mese makadaro kubva kuvarakashi, and then those people vari kuatakiwawo the same, and imimi maningi avo, spokespersons avo, and so on. Mese makadaro, you are simply afraid of telling the truth. You are hiding behind the finger. Hamusi kuda kutaura chokwadi chekuti problem yenyu muri kuiwana papi. Saka kana iri pana Tungwarara, who is sending Tungwarara? Tungwarara akabva nekupi? Who is Tungwarara's boss? What is their agenda? Kukana kwako atakwa everyone else. Why is everyone not coming together and have a meeting and decide to look for where Tungwarara's power comes from and go and address the one who is giving power to Tungwarara? Ndiye munhu ane dambudziko panguva inoishi iyeye. Asi hamusi kuda kumutaura. Muri kuya ku social media muchitenderera because you are afraid of facing the truth. And as long as you do that, Acie, let me help you, my brother. As long as you do that, muri kufama muchiridza mhere, muchiroverwa musaga, and at the end of the day, that whole system is going to implode. Kana pakaitika implosion of the system, muchachema zvenyu, but muchiri kuchema muchienda. So in other words, you are simply weeping, walking into hell, instead of trying to see how you can stop hell from burning you. Ndochokwadi chiripo ichocho. Saka inonzi karma iri kuitika kuZANU-PF, right? Inonzi karma. Saka you are simply, ZANU-PF is only now paying, reaping what they sow. Right? Andonya iri nkovapo. Saka mukaramba muchichema ku social media, musingano address chef waTungwarara ari kumutuma wacho kuti ndiani. Munomuudza kuti taurira munhu wako. Muchangoramba muchingodestroy one after the other, and mozopedzisira at the end of the day, everything goes into chaos. Just like what you have said, that it's now causing systematic decay. The system is decaying, and everyone is being undermined. Everyone is being destroyed, including Ruka Chivende wacho. And here I hear you saying, well, I'm yet to find out whether that really has been happening. But in Donya Eripo Acie, Saka you guys, Pongwe apinda omenyu mumba, mapindirwa mgarden na Pongwe, sort yourselves out. Isusu, we are watching from terraces and continue to pray for the nation. All that we want is to see that system ya kuchema Acie, that you are calling, you are saying is going through systematic decay. We don't want that system, Isusu Zimbabweans. Atidi, because that's the system which has caused Zimbabweans to suffer, Zimbabweans to emigrate, Zimbabweans to run away from their land, Zimbabweans to die in mass, and Zimbabweans to be known as sufferers of this world and the poor of this world. That must come to an end. Saka system yenyu Acie ngaife nezita raJesu. Turamba tichideclare kuti chaos iyo ngaitike more. Tikuti Jehovah wedu kuchidzirai moto, more fire, ngazvipfute, zvimwe ngondo zviwire pasi, nyika yeZimbabwe isunuke. Vana veZimbabwe vaneta Acie. We are tired as a people of Zimbabwe. So our God is intervening on our behalf, and we are saying, thank you, Lord. This time around, we are believing kuti justice is going to be served for the people of Zimbabwe.